Late last year, the new kid on the block, Neo, decided to snatch away RBC's Asia Miles offering and decided to take a stab at offering their own co-branded card with one of the most esteemed airlines in the entire world, Cathay Pacific. But does this card really stack up against the competition, or even its predecessor? Welcome back to the CreditVerse channel. If you're new here, my name is Alion, and today we're going to be taking a long overdue deep dive into the Neo Cathay Pacific World Elite Mastercard. We're going to walk through the bonus, talk about some of the earn rates and benefits you get with this card, and also how to use your Asia Miles. Be sure to also stick around until the very end, where we're going to give our verdict if this card is really worth it to pick up. Now, as always, let's start with a bonus. It currently stands at 30,000 Asia Miles, 15,000 when you get the card, and the other 15,000 when you spend $3,000 on the card within the first 3 months. The bonus isn't super strong, but it's also not too bad. We'll talk about what you can really do with these miles in just a minute. If you remember, it also launched with a 45,000 point bonus, so those who signed up and got waitlisted got the extra bonus, but currently the best offer that sticks around is 30,000 miles, and we hope this does increase a little bit over time because it's really not the strongest bonus compared to some of the other co-branded cards. Now into the earn rates. There's actually quite a wide range here. You earn an average of 5 Asia Miles per dollar spent on Neo's partners, so if you do tend to shop with those partners a lot, this could make sense as 5 miles per dollar spent is really high, or more often than not, you're going to see you getting much lower than that. You also earn 2 Asia Miles on flights booked with Cathay Pacific directly online. Now this is actually quite strong. It's probably one of the strongest ones of all the co-branded cards, with maybe the exception of the RBC British Airways Visa Infinite card. Another standout feature is the fact that you earn 2 Asia Miles per dollar spent outside of Canada. This sounds really good in theory, but when you dig a little bit deeper, it perhaps is not the best deal, as you're still paying a 2.5% foreign transaction fee, so you're actually much better off getting a card that has no forex fees at all if you think you're going to be spending quite a bit outside of Canada. Some examples here are the National Bank World Elite Mastercard or one of Scotiabank's offerings, where you pay no forex fee and you also earn some points on all of your spend. Finally, it earns 1 Asia Mile on every dollar spent everywhere else, which is actually quite a welcome addition considering the no annual fee Neo card earns nothing when you spend outside of their partner, so this is something that's pretty nice to have as a bit of a consolation prize. Moving into the perks, Neo advertised a bunch of different perks just for being a cardholder here. Being a cardholder allows you to redeem your Asia Miles for things like extra baggage, as well as Cathay Pacific business class lounge access. Of note though, you can also just get access to these perks by signing up for the Asia Miles program and just redeeming your points there directly. You also get check-in 48 hours before departure time compared to just 24 hours, but again, you can also just get this perk once again by just signing up for the Asia Miles program. You get 10% off flights booked with Cathay Pacific by using this promo code and also paying with your Neo Cathay Pacific World Elite Mastercard, which can lead to some decent savings. Being a World Elite Mastercard, you also get access to the standard set of perks. This includes access to the Dragon Pass program, but there are no complimentary entries here, so you're still paying $32 US per visit, which honestly probably isn't the best value unless you have a really long layover. An actually useful benefit here though is Boeing Wi-Fi access on certain flights. Unfortunately, this is no longer an unlimited benefit, but you do still get access to 12 sessions up to 90 minutes each per year, which is pretty good for most people, I'd say. You also get the standard set of travel insurance perks you would with a World Elite Mastercard. This is a pretty strong insurance suite when you're booking with cash, but a very interesting quirk here when you dig into the insurance certificate just a little bit is realizing that it doesn't actually cover you on flights booked with Asia Miles. This is really interesting because all the other co-branded cards do, so I'm really wondering why, Neo didn't end up choosing to make this happen. Overall, compared to the RBC offering, it's a bit of a downgrade in perks. The card this one replaced had access to priority boarding as well as priority check-in with Cathay Pacific flights, which is something this card lacks, and I'm really left scratching my head and wondering why. Unlike other co-branded core tier cards in Canada, this card also lacks a free baggage allowance, which is pretty interesting because that's one of the main reasons people pick up the core tier cards. It's a really good way to get people to get into your program and earning your miles and spending your miles, and it's just another thing that they've really just lacked out on. There's also not like a companion voucher involved, which is again pretty interesting because it's a really good way to get people into your program and redeeming your miles versus other people's miles, so I hope that comes in the future. Before we dive into how to use your points, if you guys are enjoying the video thus far, please be sure to give it a like as it tells YouTube that people are enjoying this video, and I'll recommend it to even more people who can learn about this card. Cathay luckily has a bunch of different ways you can redeem your points, and the easiest just ends up being redeeming for Cathay flights on their own network. For us Canadians, the 2 main routes would be their service to Toronto and Vancouver, to and from their home base in Hong Kong. The Vancouver to Hong Kong route would run you 27,000 miles in economy, 50,000 in premium economy, and 84,000 in business. Toronto to Hong Kong costs you just a little bit more, with 38,000 in economy, 75,000 in premium economy, and 110,000 in business class. A workspace tends to be pretty easy to find for economy flights, but when you're looking for some more premium cabins like that premium economy or business class we talked about, it might be really good to just book an entire year in advance just because the availability is so sparse that you just want to make sure you get on this product as soon as you possibly can. For bookings with other Oneworld partners like BA or Japan Airlines, or Star Alliance partners like Air Canada and Lufthansa, you have to manually fill out a flight request form on their website. The 30,000 point bonus, plus the 3,000 points you'd earn from the minimum spend, should be enough for a one-way between Vancouver and Hong Kong in economy class, or almost just enough for a one-way between Toronto and Hong Kong in economy class as well. It's not exactly ideal booking a one-way there, because you'd have to find another way to get home, and it's going to be very, very expensive to find something with cash. So we'd recommend just using another frequent flyer program like Avios or perhaps Aeroplan to find your way home without having to really shell out a bunch of extra dollars. Is it worth it? Well, just as a bit of a recap, this card has a pretty acceptable bonus and pretty acceptable earn rates, but lacks heavily on perks. For perhaps, $100 or $120, I'd say this card is probably worth it, but when it carries an annual fee of $180, which is higher than every single other core tier card, it's hard to really say that this card is worth picking up, unless you're really getting a lot of value out of the bonus. It costs $60 more than its previous variant, which is pretty interesting to think about because you're really lacking perks here compared to the other card, with the exception of perhaps getting some insurance. Other cards that may be worth thinking about picking up instead would be the RBC Avion Visa Infinite card, or its little brother, the RBC Avion Visa Platinum. These cards come with at least a 35,000 point bonus, which you can transfer over to Asia Miles, and you're actually much better off paying the $120 annual fee instead of the $180 annual fee. We've made a full video on these cards, so be sure to just watch it over here once you're done with this video if you guys are interested. With that, we're going to wrap up today's video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to give it a like, and if you guys want more content like this delivered straight to your sub box, be sure to hit subscribe. With that, we'll see you next week. Take care.